What is going on, all of you SEGA fans and racers out there in the world? I'm Mega so thank you for watching this YouTube video. Whether you are a new or a returning viewer, I appreciate you stopping by. And today I wanted to talk about a reveal of, from what we know, 2025 Sonic game. That kind of was overshadowed by the other Game Awards announcements and also recent announcements involving Nintendo Switch 2, and that is Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Now, from what we can tell, this is, we just got a little, literally like not even 30-second teaser showing off Shadow entering a car, and we just get the reveal name, right? We really don't know much about it at all. What we do know is that it's not developed by Sumo Digital, who worked on the Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing games, and I believe they did Team Sonic Racing? Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. Whereas they are not working on this game. There is an internal SEGA studio working on the development of this game, which could be interesting. I mean, I love the racing mechanics of the older Sonic racing games, especially like Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing Transformed. Love that game, love the mechanics in that game, and this is going to be different, but different isn't always bad. It just, we have to see what this team kind of comes up with. Besides that, we really don't know what this racing game is. Unfortunately, this time it's kind of a similar situation to what happened with Sonic Superstars and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. They literally came out within 3 days of each other, right back in 2023. It's a little different because Sega knew about Mario Wonder. Mario Wonder was already announced when they announced the release date for Sonic Superstars, whereas Sega actually gave us this little teaser and officially announced the game before we knew anything about a new Mario Kart coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, probably at launch. So unfortunately, that's not going to help Sonic Racing CrossWorlds here with Mario Kart. With a new Mario Kart coming in the same year, that's not going to be great. But what I wanted to talk about with this video was just kind of speculating on what this game could be. Because I've seen some people toss around like, oh, this isn't going to be anything great. It's going to be like Team Sonic Racing, maybe worse, but like, I don't know, with like Angry Birds crossover or whatever. But like, here's the thing. I think there's a lot that they're not saying here. I think there's a lot that we're not seeing with this trailer. I mean, it's a super light teaser. We'll probably hear more later this year. But I think there's a lot they're not saying here. It's literally called CrossWorlds. So to me, that implies, okay, there's going to be some sort of crossover aspect. It could be between worlds in the Sonic universe, but I don't think they would call it CrossWorlds for that reason. I think this is straight up going to be a Sonic Racing crossover game. And what does that mean? I think that means it's essentially going to be a return to form for these, like, similar, pretty much without name, to the Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing games. And like, some of you may think I'm being ridiculous, and it's like, why would I hope for that? Why would I think this could be the case? Because not only is it literally called CrossWorlds and SEGA owns so many IP, we saw last year at the Game Awards in 2023 that they are looking to revive a lot of their old IP with Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, Shinobi, Virtua Fighter we know is coming. We know those are, there are a bunch of others too that don't have like official reveals that we've heard and seen like trademarks that Sega have named for different other IP here. So they are clearly looking into their back catalog and trying to revive some of these. And this game would be the perfect like advertising campaign in a way that Smash Brothers does with advertising other series, or in Nintendo's own series, right? With like new characters from new games. It's a good way for people to check out some of their other games in their catalog. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for Sega to utilize Sonic Racing CrossWorlds to promote other series. Now, why they're not calling it Sonic and SEGA All-Stars Racing? I mean, Sonic alone, just the name markets itself, so Sonic fans will buy into it, but maybe what they're hoping is that the Sonic fan base, which is probably their biggest fan base, I mean, like a Dragon's getting up there, Persona fans, there are a lot of them out there, right, now that they own Atlas. But Sonic is probably their core largest fan base, and they are probably going to try to target that fan base to show them all these other IP and represent those IP with other characters to get Sonic fans interested in these other games that they are making. That's what I think they're going to do. And like, it's lining up to be the perfect opportunity because Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is going to come out before, I mean, more than likely before any of these Sega revival games. That's how I'm going to refer to them now, right? This is like the perfect opportunity for them to advertise that. So I think this is going to be kind of bringing it back to that formula. So I think we're going to see Beat, maybe Gum, I don't know, but probably Beat. We're probably going to see like a BD Joe or someone from Crazy Taxi. I think we're going to see Gilius Thunderhead. I think we're going to see Axel Stone. which that would be interesting because we've never had a Streets of Rage character in the old Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing games. They never had that. I think we're gonna see Joe Musashi come back, you know, and like more too. Maybe a Virtua Fighter character. Like, I'm not super familiar with Virtua Fighter characters. I know Akira's like was the poster boy for a while, right? Especially the old school ones. But let me know, Virtua Fighter fans, if you have a good representative there. But what's cool about this idea, which I really do think they're gonna do, is yes, they're going to definitely bring in my mind, like this is almost, I don't want to say it's a shoe-in, but in my mind, this makes a lot of sense. It'll be a lot of Sonic characters, no doubt, especially ones that are represented in the movies and the recent games. But also, this is like the perfect time to advertise these old games they're bringing back, and also advertise their current games. Because when we think back on it, when Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, the first one was what, 2009, and the second one was 2012. I want to say. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. At that point, that was when they were kind of stopping the utilization of a lot of their old IP. So it was weird for them to release those games at the time. Those were really just love letters to the fans to release those and have all that representation in there of their old IP. Now at this point, this is the perfect opportunity for them to advertise. But also, since that time, it's been what, almost 15 years since All-Stars Racing transformed. Sega has started developing and acquiring a lot more IP since then. I'm looking at Like a Dragon. You can throw Kiryu and Ichiban as racers in the game. I mean, Atlas is huge. Throw Joker. If this is a crossover with Sega characters, I almost guarantee you Joker's going to be playable. Or Morgana. Morgana might fit better. I don't know. Either way, some kind of Persona, Shin Megami Tensei representation. I know people have said Angry Birds. They do own Angry Birds. Throw the red bird in there. I don't know the different. Do they have names? The birds? I don't know. Throw them in there. Like, this is the perfect opportunity for them, as they have new IP, to utilize those, as well as bring back the old ones and really make this a wide-spanning array of characters. I mean, the game is called CrossWorlds. I don't want to get everybody's hopes up, but the game literally has, if you have Cross in your name, something's up, right? Project Cross Zone is the big one I like to think of. I'd love to see Bayonetta in this game. I don't think they'll do that. There might be some issues with Nintendo there. And I mean, hey, they could cross over with other third parties. I don't think that's completely out of the boat. I mean, they worked with Capcom and Bandai Namco on the Project Cross Zone games, so why not, right? Maybe we'll get like a Nintendo exclusive character on the Switch version, the Switch 2 version, or whatever, because I imagine this game will probably come to the Switch 2. And maybe the regular Switch, depending on launch. Probably will be cross-platform there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we should discredit this game. Like, it's a little disappointing because I believe this is going to be our Sonic game for 2025, right? 2024 had Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, 2023 had Sonic Superstars, and 2022 had Sonic Frontiers. I do not think the Frontiers follow-up will be ready for this year. I'm guessing that's probably going to be a 2026 game, maybe like holiday 2026. A new 2D game could happen. I think it's too soon. And we just got done with Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, which the Sonic Frontiers team was helping, and some of the Sonic team took inspiration from the Sonic Frontiers team to develop that side content for that game. So I don't know if any of the other main teams will be ready to have a Sonic game for 2025. I think CrossWorlds is our Sonic game, kind of like in 2019 when we had Team Sonic Racing, right? Which, I mean, yeah, is a bit of a bummer. Personally, I love the racing game, so I'm fine with that. It's also a bit of a bummer, the timing with the new Mario Kart, but like I said, Sega couldn't have predicted that. I mean, maybe they could have, but like, that, I'm not gonna discount them for that. But yeah, with the name literally being CrossWorlds, them owning so much IP, and not only owning it, it'd be one thing if these Sega Revival games weren't happening, then I would say, yeah, I don't know for sure. But because these are happening in the background and they are trying to hype up people to try their new IP, like, this makes perfect sense in my mind. They probably looked at this and said, we're trying to bring these IP back. Let's throw them into a game with Sonic in the title that Sonic fans are probably going to buy, and then be exposed to some of this old IP. I think this is kind of a move for them to get more of their core Sonic fan base interested in surrounding Sega IP, which I think is a good idea. It's a good strategy. I think those crossover games work very well. I can speak from personal experience when it comes to the Sonic racing games, when it comes to like Smash Brothers, Project Cross Zone, crossover games like those. They work well in terms of advertising other IP, because then you have your fans come back for more, and then word of mouth can spread from there. So yeah, like going back to the whole Sumo Digital thing, it's not Sumo Digital, is a bit of a bummer. But I mean, I think, there's nothing to be like concerned about at the moment. I think we just got to see if this team can prove themselves. The wording was something like Sega's Elite Racing Development Studio, which I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what team that is. Is that the Crazy Taxi team working on this, maybe? Like, I don't know. So that definitely has me curious, but we'll see. I mean, do I think it's going to be on the level of like a Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing Transform? Not necessarily. But I do think it could be pretty solid. I think we just need a team to prove themselves. Also, side note here, this literally could be a Streets of Rage track. Maybe Jet Set Radio, but I could see this being... I could see this totally being a tease. Either it's Shibuya from Jet Set Radio, or it's a track based on Streets of Rage, and honestly, that's what I'm thinking. Just the vibe here. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too wishful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Am I being too hopeful for this Sonic racing game? I think it's too obvious for Sega to pull this move. It would be great marketing for their other Sega revived IP games that they're trying to bring about. This game will almost definitely release before those. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. If this ends up being a Sega crossover racing game, which I'm leaning towards that being the case, definitely let me know, what characters you would like to see, what series you would like to see represented. Now that it's been almost 15 years since Transform, they have a lot of new IP and they have a lot of old IP they can utilize too. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all on the next video or live stream. And until then, keep on racing. Gotta go fast.